Hi everybody, it's Molly here with Elevated Mind and Movement, and today we are continuing our Yoga for Mental Health series, moving through the chakras. So today we are working with Svadhisthana, the Sacral Chakra. Where the Sacral Chakra is located in your body is really kind of the lower belly region. So basically the hips, the low back, this whole area right through here. So Svadhisthana is usually depicted as being an orange glowing wheel. So as we move through our sequence today, I want you to imagine that this area of your body is glowing with this warm orange light. That feels too woo-woo for you. I'm going to explain a little bit about what's happening in this region. So previously we worked with the root chakra, Muladhara, and that is our chakra for survival and safety and grounding into the earth. So as we move up the chakra system, the sacral chakra is related to our emotions. And this makes sense because our emotions are designed to help trigger us to understand whether we are safe or not safe. So if we think about every emotion that we experience, it tells us something about the state that we are in. If we are feeling fear, our instinct is to run away. If we are feeling angry, our instinct is to fight. If we are feeling sadness, our instinct is to shut down. All of these things are related to our survival. If you're feeling fear because you're being chased by a tiger, yeah, of course you want to get out of that situation. If you're feeling fear because you're being attacked, of course you're going to want to fight back. If you are feeling sadness because you've experienced a loss, of course that's going to sap your energy, and you need to conserve your energy by dialing it in. Happiness, excitement, joy, curiosity, those are all things that we feel when our nervous system believes that we are safe. So our emotions are very tied to our feeling of safety. So these two chakras often are working together. If one is out of alignment, it's probably going to pull the other one out too. If our emotions are not feeling safe, we're not going to feel safe. We're not going to feel grounded. A lot of times we try and shut off our emotions, push them aside, not feel them, not deal with them, because we feel like that contributes to us feeling safe in the world. I'm fine as long as I don't feel anything. So, the other part of the sacral chakra is that it is ruled by the element of water. Now, water has movement. It has ebbs and flows. And that's the same with our emotions. We don't feel one emotion all the time. Our emotions move. We might feel sad one day and happy the next. Or we might go through phases of I'm irritated, I'm angry, I'm full of rage, okay, I'm just sort of annoyed now. Our emotions aren't static, they don't stay the same. So working with this idea of water and feeling those emotions helps us to feel safe with emotions. They're not as threatening when we know they're going to come and go like waves on the water. So the biggest thing that we're fighting with in this chakra is whether to feel or whether to feel guilt about our feelings. So sometimes when we are really in our feels, that brings up a lot of guilt. I shouldn't feel this way. Why am I thinking like this? Why is this happening? This isn't fair. This isn't fair to me. This isn't fair to somebody else. So that guilt comes in. I heard this really interesting perspective on imposter syndrome, that of course we feel like we are going through the world faking it, that we aren't really who we tell people that we are, that imposter syndrome. Of course we feel this because we've been faking our emotions for so long. And if we think about this, when we're little, you might have felt really sad one day in school, but you can't break down and start crying. Or you might be really angry at a friend, but you can't punch them. Or you might be really angry with, a parent. You can't punch them or bite them either. That's not allowed. We don't get to do that. And we're trained very early on that our feelings impact other people. And if our feelings impact somebody else, then now we feel guilt. We feel bad that we made somebody else feel something that maybe they didn't want to feel. So we fake it. We push the emotions down. We pretend that we're not feeling them. And we get so used to pretending that we're faking our way through life, or at least we believe we are. If I can push down my sadness and make it through the day where everybody thinks I'm happy, then of course, if I am doing something that I love and people think I'm good at it, they just really don't know the real me. They don't know how bad I suck at this. We understand that all of a sudden those things tie together. So, in order to feel like we are truly being ourselves and working through this life as authentically as we can, we need to be able to get in touch with those emotions. So as we go through this practice, we're going to be working with the moving nature of water, but also kind of looking at how that applies to our emotions. So, to get us started, there are 3 things that I want you to start this practice with. So we're just going to take a deep breath in, let it out through the mouth with a take another deep breath in, let it out with a connect to that sacral chakra. I am creative. I create my world around me. I am balanced. I understand that ebb and flow. And I am open to new things, like sitting with my emotions instead of pressing them down. Take another deep breath in. Let it out. And from this centered place, I want you to close your eyes and just call up some emotions. Maybe tap into whatever emotion you're feeling right now. Or maybe something that you were struggling with yesterday. And I want you to bring that emotion in. Let yourself feel it. Notice, what does it feel like? What sensations come with that emotion? Where do you feel it in your body? Do you notice certain colors or textures that come along with this feeling as it's sitting with you? Notice what it feels like to sit with that emotion. And maybe there are multiple emotions. Maybe you're noticing a lot of different things coming up. It's okay, we're not going to stay here for very long. Just enough to bring those emotions in. And now I want you to open your eyes, and we're going to shake those emotions off. So, starting with your hands. I want you to just shake. Get your arms into it and just kind of shaking. Maybe one leg. Maybe the other leg. Maybe you can do both at the same time. And what we want to do is we want to build up this energy and this full body shake. And as we're shaking, we are releasing all of that emotion. We are just letting it out. If you've ever watched the Discovery Channel after an animal is being chased by a predator, once they're safe, they do this big full body shake and they just shake it off. So let yourself just go. Give it a good shake. And then when you're done, come on down to a child's pose. We're just going to take a moment in child's pose to recenter ourselves. Take a few deep breaths. Notice what it feels like to come to this place of calm after you shook off all of those emotions. And from here, just come up to all fours. Knees under the hips, hands planted under the shoulders. And we're just going to do some cat-cows. And we're going to do this kind of flowy. So we're not going to worry too much about hitting the peak of cow or cat. Instead, we're going to kind of roll through this as though we are moving through water. So if this is your first time with cat-cow, we're going to start with cow. And as you inhale, you fill the belly, tilt the hips up, and let the back sway. And as you exhale, you're going to bring that belly in toward the spine, curve the spine, and you're going to arch like a cat when they're stretching. So on your own inhales and exhales, just flow through some cat-cows here. Imagine that you are moving through water. And maybe it feels good to drop the hips back. And as you come through your inhale, moving up. And then exhale, rounding the back and dropping back into the hips. Almost back to a child's pose. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, rolling back. Almost making a wave. This also feels nice in that sacral region because the sacral region includes the lower back. And that's often where we carry a lot of tension, is in the lower back and the hips. Hi, Kiva. Now it might feel nice to just kind of move the hips in a circle as you do your cat-cows. Getting a little more mobility in those hips and that lower back area. Loosening that area all up. And go the other way. then just do whatever feels good in your body right now. Any type of cat-cow movement that feels good. Many traditions say that the reason that we have a lot of tension in our hips and low back is because that's the emotion center. And that's where we're holding all of those emotions that we don't allow ourselves to feel. So definitely, if we are suppressing our emotions, that area is probably going to feel pretty tense. All right. So next, we're just going to, from this all fours position, come to a neutral spine, tuck the toes, which you probably can't see my toes because Kiva's in the way, but I'm tucking my toes down, and I'm just going to come out to a plank position. Let's see if I can scoot my toes back further than her. And from this plank position, just lower down. And we're going to move the arms out further than your mat. So on either side of the mat, just kind of a comfortable distance out. And we're going to do some little baby flowing cobras here. So we're not trying to push up too far. Obviously, because our arms are out, we're not going to get up very far anyway. But again, I want you to think about that nature of water. So as you inhale, tent the fingers and rise up. And on your exhale, just flow back down. Inhale to float up. Exhale to come back down. Follow your own breath for these. If you need to adjust your arm position, go ahead. You want to think about really being stable in that lower back so that we're not crunching it. A couple more here. And on your next exhale, as you come down, bring the hands into the sides of the rib cage, tuck the toes, and we're just going to push up into a downward facing dog. Now this might be your first down dog of the day, so we're just going to kind of pedal it out a little bit. Everything we're doing today is going to be flowy and have movement. We're not going to hold anything too static here. And then come to stillness, and we're going to just, from the down dog, wherever your heels are, don't worry about that, we're going to rise up onto our toes, and then come back down. Rise up onto the toes, come back down. Rise up onto the toes, and come back down. Bring your knees down to the mat. And we're going to come back to those cat-cows. Just a couple this time. We're not going to stay here quite as long. But just notice if there's any lingering tension that came up. And see if we can just sort of move that out. Flowing like water. And then we're gonna tuck the toes again, come up to that plank position, and lower down to the belly. And once again, we're gonna bring those arms out further than the mat, and do a couple more of those nice baby cobras. Inhaling to come up, Exhaling to come down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to come down. 2 more at your breath pace. And on your last exhale, bringing the hands to the sides of the ribs, tucking the toes, and pushing back into that downward facing dog. And again, just gonna pedal the legs a little bit. Move up onto the toes, and move back to the heels. Move up to the toes and back to the heels. One more time, move up to the toes, back to the heels. Take a deep breath here. Let's do 2 more there. One more big inhale. Exhale, and step to the top of your mat. You're just going to stay in this nice forward fold. Just rock the arms back and forth, a little sway here in this forward fold. And then slowly we're just going to roll up the spine. Step back a little bit. On your inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, we're just going to waterfall forward. Inhale, rolling up the spine. Pause for a moment. Another inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, just flow down. Take a breath down here. Exhale. And as you inhale, roll up the spine. Pause in standing. Another inhale, arms come up overhead. And just waterfall down. Sway a little bit here. Maybe bend the knees. We don't want to feel any tension in that lower back. We're trying to just loosen everything up a little bit. And on your next inhale, roll up to standing. When you're standing, I just want you to step out to the side so that you're facing the long end of your mat. And we're just going to do some flowing goddess to standing. So from this position, you're just going to bend your knees and bring the arms into a goalpost position. And on your exhale, we're just going to stand up. Inhale to goddess. Exhale to stand. Inhale to goddess. Exhale to stand. Inhale to goddess. Exhale to stand. From here, just place your hands on your hips. Get your feet in a nice comfortable position for you to fold forward. You're going to just fold from the hips in this nice wide-legged stance. So just folding forward. Allow your back to just kind of roll, waterfalling back down again. Just, you can sway from side to side here if that feels nice. Bend the knees a little bit if that feels good. We're just kind of floating. You can move from side to side, bending one leg, straightening the other. Petting your dog if your dog is on your mat like mine is. Yes. And then straighten the legs. And hands on the hips. Flatten the back. And come up to standing. All right, from here, if it's in your practice to be able to squat, go ahead and come down to a squat. We're only gonna be here for a second because we're just transitioning into sitting. And we're only gonna be here for a second because now we're gonna transition into laying down, which is gonna drive Kiva nuts. Honey, can you go lay down? You go lay down on the couch? Yeah? No? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to do the best we can with this. So, with the knees bent, just roll back onto your spine. You're going to pick the knees up and hug them into your chest. And from here, you might want to roll back and forth a little bit. Just kind of giving that lower back a nice massage. That feels good. And then just bring your arms out to the side in a T shape. And we're going to drop our knees over to the right in a nice reclined twist. Breathing deeply. If you don't have a dog in your way, try and anchor that left shoulder to the ground so that you get that nice twist through the spine. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the knees back up to center and then drop them over to the left this time. For a spinal twist on the other side. Now, whenever you're doing a reclined twist like this, if it feels too intense, you can always straighten the legs down a little bit. Or if you want a little bit more, you can straighten the legs out a little bit. Play around with the position and find what feels good for you. Everybody's body is a little different. And so what feels good for one person might be really uncomfortable for somebody else. Inhale, the legs back up, knees into the chest. And from here, we're going to take a happy baby pose. So if you have not done happy baby before, you're going to take your hands to the outsides of your legs. You're going to unfold the knees a little bit. Take the outside of your feet. So your upper arm might be inside the knee, but the lower part of the arm will be holding the outside of the foot. And we're just going to bring the knees kind of back into our armpits. So if you've ever seen babies when they grab their feet, this is what we're going for. And we can just sort of rock back and forth here, loosening up that lower back. Release the feet, knees into the chest, and straighten your legs out. Scoot your shoulder blades down the back. Bring your arms out to the sides. And we're going to bring ourselves to a comfortable position, just resting here on the ground. if it feels nice, you can put your hands on your lower belly, or you can leave them out to the side. But I want you to bring your attention to that lower belly sacral region. Feel that glowing orange ball of light spinning. With each inhale, it gets a little bit bigger. With each exhale, it spreads throughout the body. Inhale, it gets bigger and brighter. Exhale, it spreads. And with that whole region lit up with that warm, glowing, bright orange light, I want you to just settle your body into the earth. Make any last adjustments that you need to feel comfortable. And allow yourself to be held by the ground. And we're just going to take a Shavasana here. I'll keep track of the time. There's nothing left for you to do. Just feel yourself melting into the ground. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Bring a little movement back into your body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Bend the knees. And roll to one side when you're ready. Lay here for a moment. And when you're ready, push up into a seated position. Before we end today's practice, we're going to do a little meditation around our emotions. So, I just want you to sit comfortably, close your eyes, and in your mind, repeat the statement: I allow my emotions to flow through me in a healthy way. I allow my emotions to flow through me in a healthy way. And now I want you to visualize that you are standing on the edge of a beach. You're standing in the wet sand, right where the water meets the beach. Maybe you even take a couple of steps into the water. And as you look out toward the ocean, you see a wave coming toward you. And that wave is full of anger. You can see your anger coming toward you like a wave on the beach. It's coming closer and closer, but you don't move. You don't run away. You see that anger coming, and you allow that wave to crash over you, covering you with anger. You can feel the anger all around you. And you can feel it dripping down from your head to your shoulders, through your torso, down your arms, your hips, your legs, your feet. And then it joins the rest of the water that's moving away from the beach. And you watch as that anger flows back out into the ocean. You see another wave coming. This wave has all of your fear. And you're watching that fear come toward you. Every fear you hold is coming toward you. And you are just standing on the beach, ready to take it. And that wave of fear crashes over you, covering you, washing you with fear all over, dripping down. Dripping down right off of you. Back down to all the water pooled at your feet, and back out into the ocean. You watch that fear slipping away, riding out into the ocean where you can't even see it anymore. Now you see a wave of sadness. Your sadness is coming toward you. You know it's going to hit you, but instead of bracing for it, you know that it's going to flow right back out with the waves. So you allow that sadness to rush over you, to drip down, covering you, and then dripping away. Flowing out from your feet back into the ocean. This time, you notice that the wave that's coming toward you is curiosity. And you allow that curiosity to come and wash over you just like all those other emotions. And as it drips down off of you, you watch it flow back to the ocean. Another wave is coming, and this one is full of joy. And that joy comes and crashes over you, and you feel all of that joy over every part of your body. And as much as you'd like to hold on to that joy, it's a wave just like all the others. And it drips down and moves back out to the ocean. And all of those waves move back and forth on the ocean. You can see them, they're still out there. Maybe they're so far away you can't tell which one is which. But the ocean is calming now. And you have been washed clean of all of those emotions. They're there, and they'll come to you when you need them. For now, you sit down on the beach. Maybe you've started to dry off and you move back toward the dry sand. And as you are sitting in that nice warm sand, feeling of peace and comfort and calm comes over you. Sit for a moment, watching the ocean, knowing that all those emotions are out there, but they can't hurt you. You can feel them, but they flow away again. None of them will stay forever. For now, you're enjoying that peaceful feeling of being calm, watching the ocean, sitting in the warm sand, listening to the sounds of the water and the birds. Take a deep breath in here to bring in the scent of the ocean, and exhale through the mouth. Let's do that again. Drink in the sensation of this peaceful, calm feeling, and release it. When you feel ready, gently blink your eyes open and come back into the room. Hopefully, with today's practice, you were able to connect with the idea that our emotions are fluid, and anything that we can feel we can flow, including tension in our body. We can flow through our body to release tension, and we can flow through our emotions to release them as well. So I leave you with our mantra for the day. I allow my emotions to flow through me in a healthy way. I allow my emotions to flow through me in a healthy way. I allow my emotions to flow through me in a healthy way. Thank you for joining me today. Go forth with light and peace.